Greetings once again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Stan the spokesman, Stan Houston, and I'm here today to audition. I would like to audition to be one of your coaches, perhaps one of your colleagues, one of your guides, on a way to experience life a little more fully. At the same time, you grow your business, your ministry, your organization, the work that is important to you. I believe I can help you do that. I've been involved as a business performance coach for well over 25 years, and that's been complemented with well over 40, almost 50 years in the international broadcasting field. And right now I'm here to teach you and tell you and perhaps to encourage you to get involved in podcasting. Obviously, many of you have heard of it. A number of you may have listened to podcasts, and some of you are hopefully wondering, well, I wonder if that's something I could do, or should I do? Well, I'd like to encourage you to explore it and see if it might work for you. So I'm going to give you 7 good reasons why you should get involved in podcasting. And remember now, this is about a 20-minute little pilot sampler. This is not our full class or course of instruction, but it's our way of giving you an introduction to what the entire coaching experience would be like. And so that you can not only gain from this, but you can decide whether you want to take advantage of further coaching, training, and growing in this particular field. Now, to begin with, since storytelling is the only effective means of communication, remember that, I'm going to tell you 2 short stories. A number of years ago, I was giving a class to young pastors who were now in the beginning stages of their ministry. And because I was a broadcaster, one of their leaders had suggested that I could probably teach them a little bit about radio and television in case they might want to expand their ministry in that way. It's a wonderful challenge. I was ready for it. I had been doing it for many years as a result of my overseas international experience. And so I put together a little half-day workshop on how to be a good radio broadcaster and how to connect that to the kinds of work as pastors that they were in. At the end of the program, and it went very well, there was an older pastor who'd been kind of the chaperone, you know. He wasn't really involved in the class that much. He was just kind of there as an encourager. And he walked up to me and he said to me, "Thank you very much." He said, "I only have one major regret. I wish I would have heard this 25 years ago, because I now know that I probably could have been a much more effective pastor and preacher and communicator if I had just known a little bit about how radio and television and the media works. I wish I would have known this years ago." Well, that's kind of a melancholy tale, but here's a sad tale. I was doing a class on personal performance marketing, and that's exactly what this is about. It's about marketing yourself by putting on programs and demonstrations, by marketing you by putting on performances. Not with brochures, not with flyers, not with those usual things that we do to market ourselves. How to personally perform. And I went through that, and toward the end, a gentleman came up to me and said, "Thank you. Again, I wish I had heard this about a year and a half ago." And I said, "Well, what's the story?" He said, "Well, somebody talked me in to putting a quarter-page advertisement in a major magazine that had distribution to the kind of people I'm looking for as clients and services, and I signed up for $40,000 in advertising." Gulp, did it. And in 1 year, I did not have one call. I I did not have one inquiry. I didn't get 1 ounce of business from my $40,000. Wow. Well, I'd like to suggest there might be a much cheaper and much more effective way to get your message out there. Now, you see, when I began broadcasting, I was lucky. I was behind the microphone of a 500,000 watt radio station that broadcast all around the world. It took lots of money. The power itself would probably have cost $1,000 an hour just to run the station. And I had the opportunity to be a broadcaster. Well, obviously, hardly anybody has that opportunity. I mean, to be on the radio, to have someone take care of all of that expense. Well, I was fortunate in the position I was in that I had that opportunity. I was literally a person who had worldwide influence. I want to start right there. That's what it took for me to have a little bit of my voice around the world. And today, the number one reason for you to get involved in podcasting is you can have just as much influence as I might have had, maybe even more. You can have worldwide influence. The listeners to my podcast are from all over the world. The people who watch my programs, my classes and courses on a YouTube type phenomenon, 158 countries, at least up to now about 35,000 students. So you can have, with what you know and what you'd like to share, this is a almost simple way to begin to have worldwide influence. And so I really want to encourage you to do that and to be very much involved in thinking that way. Secondly, it will allow you to actually change things. That's right, change things. Now, most of us are involved in work in which we hope that something will change. Now, this will help you to decide what is it you really want to change. And more importantly, why do you want to change these things, these people, this situation? Most businesses and most ministries and most organizations are trying to change something. Well, you'll discover what it is you might want to change, and even more important, why you want to change things. And then you may even discover a way to change things. I've had the opportunity to change a lot of things simply because I knew how to handle myself and be involved behind the microphone of a major radio and podcast outreach. The third thing is you're going to find that you're going to gain a lot more clarity and self-confidence. You know, yeah, it's kind of frightening to speak in public, and it's certainly a little bit leery to be in front of a microphone or be in front of a camera. But you know what? With a little bit of coaching and a little bit of help, you can do it. And you will not believe how much clearer your thinking will be about who you are and what you're about and what you need to say and what you need to do. You'll gain greater confidence. As I oftentimes say, like the cowboy, you'll walk tall. You will have more clarity and confidence about who you are and what you say and what you bring. You won't hem and haw and wonder and stumble around. You will become a person not only who knows who you are, you'll know more about what you believe and what you want to say, and most importantly, you will learn how to say it and how to say it well. All of that happens. Number 4, I want you to remember this. If it is important, it needs to be heard. That's right. You can send a text, you can send an email, and by the way, that's not communication, it's merely information. Communication is where you build a relationship and things connect And as a result of that, conversations develop and change results. And hopefully it's the kind of change you want, and hopefully it's the change for the good of all. But if it's important, it needs to be heard. In the Christian scriptures, we're told that faith comes by hearing, not by reading, not by any other means, but by hearing. And recent technology and brain science has discovered that the part of the brain that reacts most to something so there is action taken is stimulated by sound. That it is sound that helps drive the emotions. It is the performing and the hearing, and perhaps even with the watching and the visiting and the viewing, that allows there to be a real impact. If it's important, it needs to be heard. There's a lot of things where I read them and I'm bored. When I hear them, I become engaged. I become a little bit energized. I can feel the personality and the energy in the person who's bringing that story or that text or that information to me. And there's a deeper sense of personal engagement when it's heard. The only effective means of communication, if you want to affect human behavior, you have to tell stories. As I often say, the master teacher, Jesus, came into the world and he told stories and asked questions. So what do? We preach sermons and we give answers. We do PowerPoints. We do books. We do blogs. Yeah, all of that's helpful. But he told stories. And the reason is that that's what moves people. That's what engages them. That's what connects with them. The most important words in the English language are, let me tell you a story. And when you say that, people stop. Because they want to hear the story. Let me tell you a story. Well, a piece of paper can't tell a story. It's a person who tells the story. And you can do that now. Number 6, you need to have a number of DWI convictions. Now, I don't mean driving while intoxicated or drugs while influencing your driving. No. I mean DWI, demonstrated wisdom and influence. Demonstrated wisdom and insight. Demonstrated wisdom and what is important. Yes, the best way to market yourself and your business is to demonstrate. Don't tell people what you do. They don't care what you do. Demonstrate how good you are, how helpful you are, that you've got real wisdom, that you bring insight, that you can be valuable in their life. And they say, this person obviously can help me. They know me. They understand me. They are not just telling me what they can do. They're actually demonstrating what they have. DWI. Number 7, POM. And that means point of the moment. Now, if I'm going to write a book, it's going to take me a long time. If I'm going to write a brochure, it's going to take me a long time. If something happens and I'm going to write even a blog, it's going to take me time. But on the radio, I can go in front of the microphone right then, right now, at the point of the moment. I remember many, many years ago, I had taken the easy way out. I had recorded my late night program. Now, I usually did it live, but there was something going on, and so I decided to record it. And just as I came out of the recording studio about 5 in the afternoon, going home, we got word that the Pope had been shot. And the whole world stopped. Now, am I going to go, there I am, 11 o'clock at night when I play my tape recording and I don't even mention the fact that the Pope has been shot? Easy enough. I took it was taped in those days. I simply kind of put it away and say, okay, I'll be back. We're going live tonight, right then, because I could speak right to what was happening right now, right then, point of the moment. And that's very powerful when it comes to communication. Well, actually, that's 7. There are probably 14 more. And there's a lot of you could learn about not only why you should do it, but we can teach you how to do it. But I will give you a bonus. What's going to happen? As a podcaster, you're going to be a whole lot more interesting. That's right. You are going to be so much focused on things that will be able to help you build your program and to communicate to people. You are not going to be boring. You are going to have things that make you more interesting. You're going to have greater ideas. You will not sometimes be able to handle, like my wife says to me, Stan, you just keep coming up with things all the time. Sometimes it's too much for me. I just say, that's what I've been doing for many, many years. I can't help myself. I'm always coming up with things based on what I see and experience because I was always thinking about the radio programs I had to do or still do. I'm always looking for things like that. My mind just now looks for new ideas. And as a result, because you're a little more interesting, because you have a few more ideas, you will become a POI, a person of influence. And then you have a choice to make. Are you going to be an influence for good, or are you going to be an influence for nothing good? But you now have the opportunity to be a true person of influence in the world. Hey, there's a lot more, and when we do our class and course together, we not only will give you more reasons, we'll teach you how to get started and how to begin, and then who knows, you might soon be on the radio, because it's now your turn and your town. I'm Stan Houston. I'd like to help you. Thank you for taking time to watch the sample. All the best and blessings to you. Till next time, and I want to believe there will be a next time. Bye for now.